Hello, everybody. My name's Ed Pavlik. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, and I'm here today with my comrade in England.
Frank Lawton, excuse me, Frank Lawton from London, UK.
So we're here today to do another edition of Gyne Garage. And I'm going to let Frank start off with the paper that is important for us to consider today. Frank, what do you think about this paper?
Okay, well, this paper caught my eye. Not that I read Cosmopolitan or watch Sky News very often, but clearly something hit the headlines here. It was all over the British press, local newspapers, national newspapers, The Independent, The Guardian, the BBC. It was everywhere. So I thought, well, this must be quite an important paper. And the authors suggested that this was a new, never been done before paper where bilateral salpingo-oophorectomy for patients carrying BRCA1 or 2 genes could undergo at the same time as cesarean section. When I actually got the paper we sent to me, and this is in the Green Journal. This is in a very, this must be one of the 3 or 4 best journals in the world concerning obstetrics and gynecology. And I really couldn't understand why the editorial board wanted to publish this paper, because it just didn't seem that interesting. So either the board was hoping that a lot of people would increase their subscription to the journal by it being publicized by all of these independents, or they thought that readers of the journal were unaware of the significance of BRCA1 and 2 in the genesis of ovarian or pelvic cancers, or they were unaware that surgery could and has been since a long time carried out at the same time as cesarean section. The paper that I think, if you can show it now, Ed, this other paper that I managed to find documents all of the sort of surgery that can be carried out at the time of cesarean section. Obviously, ovarian cysts, sterilizations, appendicectomy, removal of pedunculated fibroids. This is nothing new. And I think most gynecologists, certainly when I was a trainee gynecologist carrying out a sterilization operation, and we used to remove the whole of the fallopian tube at the time of cesarean section, because the other methods of sterilization, just tubal blockage, probably weren't as good, weren't as effective at the time of section, but we did it all the time. And I really couldn't understand why this paper gained such significance. The authors say it's a case series, when in actual fact it's just 4 case reports of women, some of whom had BRCA1, some have had BRCA2, all of whom were going to undergo elective cesarean section in a hospital, a very famous hospital in North London, all referred internally to the Bracket Clinic. It doesn't say how well. This is a 4-year study of 4 patients. That doesn't sound like the same number of patients that would be referred to that clinic. And they don't say whether patients who were offered this procedure who refused it, and if so, why not. They also don't say who carried out the surgery. If these were elective, were they carried out by consultants, specialists, or were they carried out by junior doctors? They don't say they don't describe the surgery. They say, oh, it's quite difficult because obviously the pelvic vasculature changes in pregnancy. Yes, it does. But they don't say how that changes how one would do a salpingectomy or a salpingo-oophorectomy in a non-pregnant woman. The length of the surgery is, well, there are 4 patients, so the maximum is 90 minutes, which sounds a heck of a lot of time for a cesarean section and a bilateral salpingo-oophorectomy to me. So were there complications with surgery? Some of these patients had previous cesarean sections. There's nothing about that. And I think that's the most disappointing aspect of the paper. They describe that it could be done, but they don't describe how it should be done. And they don't obviously describe very much about possible complications. Blood loss up to 1 liter. That's a big blood loss for a cesarean section. The thing that the thing that really got me was it's almost like TripAdvisor. They decided, the publishers, the authors decided to ask the patients what they thought of the operations after the surgery had been done. And I must read these to you. One patient said, "I would do it the same way all over again." Well, when you've had your fallopian tubes and your ovaries moved, you won't need that operation all over again. Was she saying that what she really wanted was, I have a healthy baby and I know I'm not BRCA positive? Is that what she's saying? She's not actually saying that the operation was brilliant. She's saying the outcome was brilliant. Well, we know that. Absolutely happy 100%. Well, that's good. Presumably, none of the patients were BRCA, had tubal problems, by the way. They're all negative. They say that we believe the option of risk reduction of salpingoprectomy, cesarean section, should be offered to all pregnant BRCA carriers who require cesarean section of completed childbearing age and of appropriate age. And I would agree with that, but I really don't think this paper, sadly, offers anything unless you're a Cosmopolitan reader or watch Sky News.
Well, I agree with you, Frank. I think the big surprise is that they make a claim that this is a twofer, or we can save money because we're going to do two procedures at the same time, and that's going to be good. They offer no numbers to justify that position, intuitively it may make sense, but in some sense we have to say, is it really true? And how great is the savings if it were to be true? So I think that they really have put up this as a big benefit. I think maybe the media in London have picked up on, well, it's a twofer. We're going to do one operation and solve something that would be done by two. I think that might have been what raised their interest. But in the end, and I think also they had to sort of sneak a little bit into this is a case report category when it was a very small group category that they were reporting on. So I'm in agreement with you, and I think that's my take on what's going on here.
Yes, I think so. I mean, if they were really worried about the BRCA, they could have just done a salpingectomy and left the ovaries behind. I mean, they make a big fuss about starting HRT on these patients. And okay, that if you wanted to remove the ovaries at a later time, that would be two operations when one could have been done. But a salpingectomy is far easier in pregnancy or in a cesarean section than a salpingo-oophorectomy. And of course, the patients wouldn't go through surgically induced menopause. So if they're that worried, they can just do the salpingectomy, remove the fimbrial ends, which is where the majority of serious, or all of serious ovarian cancers probably come from, and remove the ovaries at a later date. I mean, if a patient has their fallopian tubes removed and there is no histological abnormality, I think that reduces the risk of a subsequent ovarian cancer in BRCA carriers dramatically. It's not the ovary that's the problem, it's the tube. So why not just remove the tubes at cesarean section? Much easier.
Absolutely. Well, Frank, we've done it again. We've wrapped up one more session of GYN Garage. We've considered this paper in a way that it's not that we disagree with it. We just wonder about why it was really going to be done. So I look forward to getting together with you again.
Yep.
And we'll do it soon.
Yeah. See you soon, Ed.
Okay.